What's up, crew? Welcome back to the Nate the Great YouTube channel. My name is Nate. This is day 4 of phase 2 of my health journey, where I'm using sugar fasting and the sugar diet to continue to lose scale weight and to try and build some muscle mass at the same time. So, just give you some updates, and then I want to jump in and talk about a very sensitive topic that's been kind of on my mind lately. And so, first foremost, I gave you an update yesterday on my marathon. I got the date wrong, so it's the week prior than the July 4th weekend. Nonetheless, it'll be along the beach over in, I live in Florida, so it'll be on a beach run. It's going to be super fun. And then it's going to be an evening run, so I'm going to be taking the wife out for dinner after that. So still training for that 5K. Excited to finally like I said, put some money down, bet on myself, and be ready to run that 5K and then start training for the 10K shortly thereafter. I will be doing a more extended focused video on that, so stay tuned for that. Now, the topic at hand is really around looking and watching from the outside in. So I don't know if you are aware, but I lost 100 pounds using carnivore, keto, and extended fasting, alternate day fasting, etc. But I've shifted over to sugar dieting, sugar fasting primarily for the last month or so, and really had an reemergence of a whole different way of thinking and looking at solving problems. And I still have on my YouTube feed a lot of carnivore keto channels that I've watched forever. And I've mentioned a few of them on my channel on these videos. And it's just, now that I haven't really watched a lot of their videos lately, but I decided to sit down last night and just check out what it's all about. And seemed like there was a constant theme. And I don't know if this is easy to see if you're in that space, if you're in the cult and you can't objectify the ideas and the video titles and the actual content of the videos. But I saw a general theme. It was one of two things, right? I fell off the wagon, I gained a bunch of weight, and now I'm going to get back in there and do it again. And here's my results after 7 days. Or, oh my gosh, I fell off the wagon, I failed, and poor me, right? And I just started to see this theme. And I'll call a couple of YouTube channels out there. There's the Carnivore Quest channel. I'm just really saddened by the fact that, Larry and his wife, more Larry, just continuously have setbacks and fall off and get back on. And everybody in those comment sections are like, oh, you just have to do better. And, it's really encouraging and it's really nice. But like the dogma and the narrow-minded thinking about solving a problem. And again, I don't want to push the sugar agenda. I don't want to encourage anybody to do something they're just generally scared of or afraid of, because that's just going to make it worse. That being said, I just think there's so many channels out there, so many people that don't have channels that will continuously try to do the same thing over and over again, even though the results every time ends in them stalled out, ends in them not making any progress, being discouraged, getting depressed, falling off the wagon, recoiling, hiding, starting potentially the binge cycle back up, gaining weight, and then coming back in. And I feel like for 25 years of my life, that was exactly what I did. And so I just feel really sad about these people, because they're real people and they live real lives. And even though they have a YouTube channel, I'd like to think that they generally care about their health more than just farming, clicks and views, because, oh, woe is me, and posting up videos where you're basically, rebounding for the 12th time, gets more clicks than, hey, I'm making progress and my life is actually improving because I broke through the stall and, I found a new path forward that's more, it actually works. So I'd like to think that all of these channels and all these people behind these channels generally have their health in the first slot, and then everything else behind that is in the second slot. But I wonder at this point is, you know, do you really want to get healthy, or do you just want to lose 20 pounds, get stalled out, fall off the wagon, gain 20 pounds, and then make a video saying, you know, to that effect. And then that gets way more views. Like, I just like to think that that's not the case. Anyways, so my history with my upbringing is I was exposed to a lot of unhealthy foods and at unhealthy quantities. I always had sodas, I always had pizza, and that's really all I had for the majority of many years. And I'll talk more into depth about that in a separate video about my weight loss journey and my upbringing. And I'll probably do like a two-parter, because I've already scripted a lot of that out, and it's about an hour long. So I'll definitely need to make two parts for that weight loss journey piece. But I'm really kind of holding off until I get to my goal weight, which is about 185 pounds. Again, only about 15 pounds away. Not focused on that right now, just maintaining and building muscle is really my focus right now. But Cole brought up something on a live yesterday that I thought was really important to understand, which is, and the mindset piece around weight loss, which is, if you consider your sugar fasting days the restrictive days, you're doing it wrong. The restrictive days are the days where you're not on the sugar fast. If you're going out and having a big dinner with the family and stuff, those should be your restrictive days. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a fantastic revelation. And I just thought about this yesterday, which is, yeah, on my sugar fasting days, I'm eating, you know, 2,000 to 2,500 calories. I know that on the carnivore keto, if you were to average out, you know, calories per day, because I was only eating once every other day and I was only eating like 1,600 calories, we're talking in the, you know, hundreds, like 800 calories a day. And I was still gaining, if not losing weight, which was par for the course. I watch another channel. He's been losing a bunch of weight, and I'm so happy for him. But yesterday he revealed that he's only eating one meal a day and he's eating 1,200 calories. And I'm like, what? Like, it's still working. He's still losing weight. But it's just the thought process around, how are you going to transition off of that? How are you going to transition to something that isn't 1,200 calories? And what's going to happen as soon as you start eating a normal diet again? You're just going to bloom back up. So you're just so hyper fixated on losing weight that you're making your body so metabolically unhealthy in the process. And it kind of shows, you know, he doesn't really do any weightlifting or anything like that, and it's all flab. And eventually I'll show my shirt off pictures, and I'm not afraid to show it. But I do a lot of weightlifting, and my wife and I do a lot of that sort. Sorry, we're going through some thick bush here. I'm just making sure there's no snakes. All right, so I don't know. I think top of mind here is this, you know, changing your dogma, getting out of that dogma and that cult mentality of, I can only do something this way, or I can only do something that way. And again, if it's working, then great, right? If it's working, then keep doing it. But if it's not working, if you've stalled out, then try to figure out a different path. And that's what I'm trying to, my main point here is this, is if everybody just keeps trying to double down on things that don't work, you're going to find out that, guess what? Doubling down on something that doesn't work is going to doubly not work. And so that's the point I'm trying to kind of get at here. And it's so discouraging, because there's so many people out there that I bet really could get out of that cult mentality, that only being able to do it one way. And they just, for one reason or another, are stuck. And if we can just reach a few of those people and just show them the light. Again, I don't want to push the sugar fasting protocol, because it's not for everybody. And people have their own history with food. And if sugar has been a catalyst of their weight gain, or their, you know, binging or whatever that is, then recommending that they just switch to just sugar can be mentally just incompatible with how they see the world. To that end, just try something different, try something new, because yes, it's scary. Yes, it's going to be uncertain, but at least it's something different than doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So anyways, this is just on top of mind, and I really wanted to get that out there, and I just hope everybody's having a good day. I'm on a harder path today. This one's a little bit more up and down and through the weeds, but you gotta take a different path once in a while, right? Just to see what you're capable of, just to see what it's all about, and maybe it'll provide you a better path forward and solve your health issue, whatever that may be. Anyways, hope everybody's having a good day. I will see everybody on the next one. Bye.